that they didn't think I was crazy, but they knew I was going through it. Like, no matter how scared I am, or nervous I am, or worried, this can't go down like this. It felt like an imposter everywhere I am. You know, could be around people I've known 20 years, but I feel like I shouldn't be there. I make sure every single day I've done away, I make sure I make up for it double in every single day I have out here.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Motive. I'm joined here today by Neah. Welcome, Neah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
We got The Motive.
Thank you for coming.
No problem at all. How you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, things are good.
Really appreciate you coming through today, Neah.
Oh, no problem at all.
You've got an unbelievable story, and I don't say that lightly, by the way. So I was wondering if you could tell us, where you came from and tell us your story from today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. From when, Bev?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Basically, I grew up in Essex. Had a bit of a dysfunctional kind of lifestyle growing up. My dad was on drugs, in and out of prison. I got 3 older brothers. My mum done her best. Weren't easy. We didn't have much. I grew up around drugs. Grew up on drugs, violence, all that kind of crazy stuff. I had undiagnosed ADHD until I was 28. So I kind of lived a lifestyle I didn't really understand myself. I picked up quite a lot of learned behaviours, inherited quite a few unhealthy beliefs about life. I went through a lot of kind of domestic violence, sexual abuse, my own kind of substance misuse, violence myself that I kind of picked up. Hurt people, man, and been in a lot of situations in my life that then created me to feel that everybody was trying to attack me. Everybody was trying to kind of take me down, to hurt me. And yeah, I've done quite a bit of jail, some justified, some really fucking not. And then I've kind of done my best to get to the root of it, get to the depths of my soul, dissect my whole character, life, personality, ambition, everything, to kind of create a better me, create a better life. And I'm working every day to be the best that I can be and get what I deserve.
I love that. I love that. No, that's brilliant. So what kind of happened with you in prison? What was the first issue that you're running that you had with kind of the police? And
basically I went to prison when I was 17, so it was the day before my 18th birthday. It was just for silliness, really. When I was out on the estate, crazy. When I was young, I was nicking cars. If people, when you're out and you're young on the roads, living that kind of lifestyle, no parents, just out there, just winging it, trying to survive, really. Robbing shops, nicking cars, fighting, things like that. So I went to prison for when I was about 17, just for I think it was a shoplifting. Some guy nicked my telly in this hostel that I lived in, so I nutted him. So I went away for that, but
you went to prison.
I went to prison for that. I got 8 months, but I did get my telly back. But I went to prison for 8 months, so yeah, that weren't great.
No warning on it, or it was just straight.
It was straight jail. Obviously, I'd been in trouble with the law before that for silly things.
Right.
So then when it got to that, and I was just turning 18, it was no, she's going away. So I went away, and I was away. I got 8 months.
What was the first time in prison like for you?
Do you know what? It was a bit overwhelming, to be honest. When I was on the bus, the reality of, I'd been in and out of police cells and stuff when I was young, but the reality when I was on that bus that I was actually going to jail was oh my God, what the hell? But yeah, ultimately I did. It was the day before my 18th birthday, so I went to juvie, and then on the first day, obviously my first full day was my 18th birthday, so I got moved over to the main prison, the adult prison.
Probably one of the youngest persons.
I was the youngest person in the whole jail, yeah.
I imagine.
But I was buzzing, because when you go over there, you get tobacco, so I thought, yes! Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'd gone over there, and a few big group of girls tried to rob me for my canteen. So that kind of, I don't know if people have watched, that went right off. basically I was with this traveller girl, and I was on this wing, the induction wing. You order your canteen on the induction wing, and then you move over to the main block, but they get their canteen later. So then I've ordered it on the induction wing, moved over to the main block, and then my canteen's ready on the induction wing. People know that you've just come from induction, so they know that you're getting your canteen early. So as I've walked over, I've seen people behind me. I know they're following us, but I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I was scared. I was nervous, but I knew, like...
Just keep your head down.
I knew from this moment here, this is where I'm paving my way. Like, no matter how scared I am or nervous I am or worried, this can't go down like this, because I'm going to be a victim for the rest of my sentence, and that's it. Like, if I get my canteen robbed, I'm getting robbed for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Starters, you mean to go on, basically.
100%, you know, and I see them follow me over. I've gone in there to get my canteen. The girl that I'm with went to the screws. She was scared. She's like, I'm not going out there. I'm not. I said, fuck this. Give me yours. So I've took hers, I've took mine. I said, no, fuck this. I was like that. You know, my heart's beating. I thought, oh, God, because I knew that there was a good few people out there waiting for me. But I just thought, you know what? I think nothing's going to kill me. Yeah. Nothing's going to be worse than stuff I've been through in life. Like, so let's do it.
That's a fearless mentality.
100%. Because it was just like, do you know what? I could face this fear right now, and deal with it. Or what? I'm feeling that every single day for the rest of the time I'm in here.
Yeah.
Because I look like a mug. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, gone out there, a few girls have come up, two from over there, a couple from over there, all waiting around corners. Give me your canteen. I was like, you ain't getting nothing, you mad? I'm shaking. I said, no, you ain't getting nothing. Fuck off.
How old were these lot in comparison, do you know?
A good few years older than me. Yeah, I think there was like, I don't know, I thought there was a boat in the jowl
just
or
trying
whatever.
to prey on the
vulnerable, yeah. So then that happened, and then the next day they all come up to me, spudding me.
It was just it was more of a test.
Yeah, that's what they said. They was like, oh, we respect you for yesterday. We was just testing you. I thought, fucking hell, no, at least no one's going to try it again.
Yeah.
Mad though, isn't it? And then from then it was just like, nah, I'll have it with anyone, any day, any time, not a victim. Like, it's not happening. And then that's how it makes you, you know, because it's survival tactics, you know.
Did that always work in your favour?
100%.
Did it?
Yeah. You know, and as much as there's points where especially after the few years, you know, of the growth, it wasn't me anymore. I didn't want to be like that.
No, I can imagine it's quite a tiresome way to live. Like, go through life. It really is. You got to be on it all the time.
All the time, and it's hard because it's like you're in between a battle of who you need to be to survive in there, but who you want to be to win out here. And it's hard because you want to feed and love and give everything into the person you want to create yourself to be to win out here, but then ultimately that person ain't surviving you in here. You know? So then you're back and forth, so then it's half-hearted. You know what I mean? And it's hard. But you just got to...
Especially from the environment you came from as well. Like, you're probably still trying to figure it all out
100%,
as well. So there's a bit of confusion going on. And,
of course.
But at that point, it's just about survival, I imagine.
100%,
and do what you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you can't... If people see even... You know, if people see any kind of potential vulnerability in you, in there, you're bang in trouble. You know, so even if you're not that kind of person, you've got to front it till the end. You know, you have to. Yeah. It's the only way to survive. But then naturally, the more you do that, the more you do start to, like, you're forcing yourself into a way of a mentality and a belief system that ultimately it can start to, like, settle in you. And then it becomes, for a couple of years, I was like, made me really worse. Do you know what I mean?
I can imagine, yeah. Do you reckon it's a bit like PTSD where you're a bit like, it's a bit traumatic for you?
Yeah.
And therefore, you're acting a certain type of way.
Survival. Yeah. And it's a shame because, you know, like a lot of people in there and, you know, ultimately people in life as well have these kind of issues and you need to kind of dissect them, work on them to grow. But then in kind of environments like that, it's hard to be able to take that time out, like you said, because you have to be on it 24/7 ready.
Yeah.
So it's
I don't really understand the kind of prison system because to grow in, like, the idea is that you rehabilitate yourself and become a better person. But
ultimately, yeah. But
the environment doesn't feel like it allows for that at all.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I found that really difficult, yeah. And then, you know, because you really want to do that, but then, like I said, that person's not helping you in there. So it's hard because then you have to go back and forth. And it is hard, but it's just, you know, what you feed wins. So you have to just make sure you feed the person you want to be more than.
So what kind of happened then on your journey?
Then obviously I was out one night. It was St Patrick's Day. I was out with my mate. She's an absolute nightmare. Anyway, long story short, she's had a row with this guy. I've gone down to the toilet. She's slapped him. There's a big kind of fight breaking out. I've come up from the toilet. Bouncers are splitting everyone apart. I've said to her, what's happened? She said nothing till the end. It wasn't until I was in court and I watched the CCTV back, I did witness on the CCTV that she actually slapped him. Anyway, long story short, they've thrown everyone out of the bar. They've all left. Then we've left. We're sitting on a bench kind of just outside in East London and my friend's coming to pick me up. And they've all come back from around the corner. But ultimately, I'm not thinking anything of it because I was in the toilet. She said nothing's happened or whatever. They've come over. This guy's come over and he's screaming and shouting at my friend. She's about 2 foot in her Rizla. She's only little. I've stood in front of her like, leave it out, mate. Like, come on. Like, drop me out. He's then grabbed me by the hair, banging me in the jaw. He's punched me 4 times in the jaw, straight connect, bang, bang, bang. I'm thinking, like, I'm tough, yeah? I've been raised by brothers. I've got 3 older brothers, you know what I mean? Like, I've had a challenging kind of lifestyle. Like, I'm not gonna get one bang and call the old bill or cry or whatever. Like, let's do what we gotta do here and just get away. All I'm there thinking is I don't want to go away. I don't want to go back to prison. I don't want to be fighting. Do you know what I mean? Then after the 4th bang, I felt my jaw clicks. I've got my glass. I've just smashed him in the head. Knocked him out. Yeah, I did. I got 12 years in prison for it. You know, it's unbelievable. I could have killed him and got 7. Manslaughter. It's fucking crazy. The whole justice system is crazy. I believe I got scrutinised because I'm a woman.
Because of your history.
Because of my history and because I'm a woman. If that was a man and they're out and they're having a fight, right? If a man and a man is out and they're having a fight and he's battered him and then he's hit him with a glass or whatever, there's no way that man's going to prison for 12 years. I believe because I was a woman and I was attacked, but then ultimately I won and he ended up on the floor and I walked off, it was like, no, this ain't society's eyes.
Yeah.
This is, you know, this is not.
Had you been the one on the floor?
Exactly. I said in court, what would have happened if I would have been the one that ended up on the floor? What would have happened if I never hit him with that glass? They said you would have been the one that ended up on the floor. He would have been the one that ended up in prison. But ultimately, how can you give somebody that choice? You know, what if I didn't get back up? Like, you know, it's not realistic.
I thought we would have been done as defence anyway.
That was the thing. My solicitor told me the whole time, Neah, you're not guilty. The whole way, this is self-defence. I was scared. Because I know I've got previous convictions for violence, I said, I want to grab GBH because I'm scared. I want to just do a plea bargain and accept I did hit him with the glass. It was self-defence, but I accept, because it was a glass, it may have been excessive. I accept that. With a guilty plea is 3 years. I'll take that, yeah? Cool. Because even though it was self-defence, I did have a glass. I did knock him out. So ultimately, I have got to, you know, as much as I can believe that I needed to or whatever, ultimately I do have to take some responsibility for the fact that I did injure him, you know?
Even though it still sounds like a bit harsh on yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're defending yourself.
Yeah. But I ultimately, in the eyes of the law, I've still got to kind of take that responsibility. And they wouldn't have it. They said, no, you intended to cause him serious wounding with intent. They put it in the category 1, 15 to 19 years. I was looking behind me, mate, thinking they're talking to someone else.
That's mad.
Yeah, and then I got 12 years and they said, take her down.
Yeah.
And
that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's just, it's hard to even kind of, you know, think about that day when that happened. It just seems...
Very surreal.
It just seems, even though I'm here now, it just seems so surreal because just that feeling at that time was just like, what? I was 24 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that is young.
Yeah, I just turned 24. It happened when I was 23. I just turned 24. And it was just like, what the hell? I'm not getting out for like 6 years. Till I'm like 30. And obviously 30 now is fine. But at that age, you're thinking like 30's old.
Sorry, you said 6 years. What was it not originally 12 years?
Yeah, but you have to, I do half.
Right, is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do half and then you can essentially appeal to...
No, I do half, but then when I get out, I've got another 6 years on licence.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I appealed it. You appeal it, you are entitled to a first appeal for free. If you get rejected, you then have to pay, and you then are at risk of getting more time.
I remember hearing this on your James English, and
Yeah.
I don't know, that doesn't make sense to me either.
It doesn't make sense, but you're not going to believe what happened, right? So I've appealed, and I've got rejected the appeal. I'm like, mate, fuck this. I don't care how much it is. I'm going to get it. I'm appealing again. This is my life. I know what happened, and I know that this ain't fair. Yeah. So I've appealed again. Anyway, I've got my family out there finding the best in the business, of appeals to get me out of here. Every noise I heard when I was in jail, Every noise I heard when I was in jail, I'm thinking they're coming to let me out because I can't believe it, right? Anyway, so my family, and they've found the best in the business, paid them to come and visit me. I've got my appeal listed at the court. I've got the papers for it. It's all going great. My appeal got listed at the Strand Appeal Court, and I got a letter through. I was actually in the block in Style in Manchester. I got a letter through saying... your appeal has been kind of thrown out because your representation didn't turn up. I then got my
just no show?
No show. I've then got my family to kind of find out what's happening with this guy. Contacted the company, said he worked for. They basically said he doesn't exist.
Really?
The whole thing was a scam. And that was when I sat there and I thought, Neah, seriously, there's a reason you need to be here for all these years. Whatever it is, one day you're going to figure it out. You saw that, yeah? Yeah, and it hit me like a ton of bricks because... you can't make that up, can you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you was obviously in a bit of like, no, I'm getting out of here mentality.
Yeah.
And then there was a moment in time when you were actually just accepting it really for what it was.
Yeah, and then I remember ringing my mum and we was talking about how I didn't turn up and I'm like, what the hell and all that. And she went, I said, Mum, but I've got to get out of it. I didn't do this. Like, this is not how it... this is not how it happened, Mum. They're lying. I've got to get out. This ain't fair. And I remember, I'll never forget her word. She went to me, Neah, one thing you got to learn is not everything comes out in a wash, And I thought, what? I thought, for the first time, I actually sat there and deeped it and I thought, I ain't getting out of here. This is it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and it worked. I was in the block as well, in Style, in Manchester.
What was it like there? Worse than the first time?
Yeah, I was in the cell. You're not allowed no toiletries. No, so I had blonde hair at the time. So my hair was all like matted because I wasn't allowed any conditioner for my hair. You wasn't allowed any clothes. You get like one prison tracksuit. They've got all like bars, all like the windows, all cages. Frogs in the shower. Really freezing frogs in the shower. If you piss them off and you go out and exercise, you're coming back, your stereo and your mattress is gone. They ain't playing around. Like, yeah, it was heavy.
Who's they? The inmates?
The screws.
The screws.
And I'm not going to lie, that was the hardest bit of bird I've ever done, but it made me, like, concrete after that. Realising I weren't getting out, realising the appeal was all absolute bollocks and that it'd set me up and they just took the money and it was a scam. Them being in there and I've got nothing, come in the middle of Manchester, like, and I've got... that was when I really deeped my whole life and I thought, wow, and it made me... like so strong, but ultimately very angry and bitter as well. So I was like that for a good while, about a year, 2 years.
In the prison?
In the prison, yeah. I was wild. I would have it with anyone. I was so angry and I felt like everyone owed me something. Not everyone owed me something, but hurt people. And I was really hurt, really angry, really couldn't believe it. And I was young as well. And the reality of losing all them years for something that I don't believe I deserved to didn't sit right with me for quite a while until I really deeped the fact that I wasn't getting out. And I just thought, you know what, who's going to win out of this? Am I going to let them win? To say that, yeah, I've done this and they've gave me all these years and to let me get more and more angry and, more and more, like, destroy my life, then who wins? And I said, you know what, like this, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do this sentence and I'm going to get out and I'm going to be like, thanks to the judge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you made me
determined,
who I am. Yeah, turn it all around and win out of it. Because ultimately, whether you're in jail or wherever you are, it's still life. You're still your life. Ultimately, you're still, to a certain extent, obviously it's prison, everything's controlled, but you still have control over what you teach yourself,
how you behave, how you act out,
how you act, what you learn from it, what your goals are, you know. And then that was just then what I focused on for the last couple of years, really getting to know myself.
Not that I can really relate to it, but life is about enduring, like going through pain and growing through it. And it sounds very much like you understood the pain that you was in at that point in time.
Yeah.
And what was more impressive is that you actually decided to grow through it rather
100%.
than. Was it all? Were you very clear in your head, or did it take a while to kind of navigate through that?
It took a while. Don't get me wrong. There was points where I was on the block for about 2 months, and I was like sleeping under the bed.
Were you?
Like I was blaring. They thought I was. They liked me, and they didn't think I was crazy, but they knew I was going through it. Do you know what I mean? And there was points where I was like sleeping under the bed. I used to blare classical music and like just sleep under the bed. I shaved a bit of my hair off. Like I'd lost the plot a little bit. But then I just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm a winner, man. Like,
what was that pinnacle moment for you? Like, was there like a specific moment for you that just kind of, obviously I know you had the bit around the solicitor when, and you were like, I'm going to be here forever. What was the point? Can you remember the specific point where you were like...
I think it was during that time and I was in the block and then I'd figured that out. Then I lost it a little bit and I was like sleeping under the bed and just angry. And then... I can't remember the exact point. But yeah, that is really when I really changed it all around.
Yeah, fair. And so what, were you there for the full 6 years?
No, I went everywhere. I was in like the maximum security in London, in Bronzefield for a year. Started off in Holloway shut down. Then I went double A Cap Max in Twickenham.
What's the point of what's the reasons for moving you around?
Drug intel, mobile phone intel, things like that. First of all, initially when I got the sentence, I was in London and I told the governor I want to go as far away as I can because I couldn't cope. I had my family and my friends on my visits every single week and all I could see was pity in their eyes, feeling sorry for me, looking devastated. I couldn't cope with it. I loved them and I didn't not want to see them, but I couldn't fucking cope with it. Even in the jail, the girls I knew, there's girls in there that I've known for ages and I'd see them, they'd put their head down because they just didn't know what to say.
Yeah, felt really sorry for you.
Yeah, you know, and I didn't want that and that hurt me more. You know, it was really making it a lot harder for me. So I said to the governor, send me as far away as you can. I need to get away from everyone and everything I know because there's no way I'm going to get my head around this. Otherwise, I can't cope with people looking at me like that. And just, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, like I could have see people on visits every week feeling sorry for me and all that. But then what? I'm the one going back to do the bird with that mentality. Nah, I need to go get tough, come back and I'm out. Give my best self and let's do it. And here I am.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So you moved around, and so when did you come out of?
I come out at the end of I come out like start 2022.
2022. So literally last year.
Not too long. Yeah.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, and how did you find that kind of like adapting to normal life?
Mad.
Yeah.
Really mad.
I bet it was.
For a good while. It's only just, to be honest, it's only really recently that I've actually started to feel like everyone else, like normal. Yeah, it took a long time. I just felt like an alien. It felt like an imposter everywhere I am. You know, I could be around people I've known 20 years, but I feel like I shouldn't be there. I feel like I need to go home. I need to shut the door. Like, really weird. Because ultimately I've been on my own in a room for so long. And I had all these opportunities and all this freedom that I could do anything I want with, but it was kind of like a fear. Like felt like it wasn't mine. You know, it's weird.
It's like you almost got so accustomed to your environment that you was already in.
Yeah.
That like you needed to probably transition still.
Yeah, maybe slowly. You know. Yeah, and it was really overwhelming. I still suffer with like bad anxiety now, but it was like really bad for a long time. It's got a lot better, but some days it is like too much. I think it was because it was so long and because the last 2 years was COVID, so we never got out of the cells, never got no visits, nothing. So that made it really hard. And then
did you always struggle with anxiety?
I've always kind of had anxiety, but then the sentence made it worse. But then the COVID, where we never had visits and never got out at all, made it. And then going from that to bang, you're going out tomorrow, to freedom was like wow. Yeah, because I hadn't even been in another person's company for about a year and a half. So then to be getting out and you've got your family, your friends, you go to the pub, you go anywhere you like. It was like, what?
What do I do with all this freedom?
And
Yeah.
ultimately it's everything that I'd spent years dreaming of. But then when you got it, it's just like, wow, it just felt, it just felt surreal. But then, I started to work on being my mind's master, not its slave, and not letting it kind of control or define any more of my opportunities in life. Because I felt like it took so much off me already, and then just started embracing it and just loving it, and I'm just grateful, and I've just got so much that I'm planning for the future, and I'm just trying to win really, and just not let this. I'm not trying to not trying to let these things define me,
So what? When you came out, did you get back to work, or did you? Was it just like a full party?
I went straight into work after 2 weeks.
Did you?
Yeah, because I have extreme ADHD. And especially where I'd been in prison for so long, I need to have routine.
Yeah.
And
keep yourself busy doing something.
And I'm very driven and ambitious anyway. And I knew that, especially from what I'd come through, I couldn't just get out and. I wasn't young anymore. I wasn't 23, 24 anymore, like I'd went away. I've got out 30 years old. So it's like, it's not a game. I felt like, I've got so much I need to catch up on. My friends have got houses, mortgages, kids, and it was a pressure. So after I'd arranged it from when I was inside, I started working as like a barista. I trained as a barista when I was inside after 2 weeks. I was doing that for a few months, retrained in my hairdressing because I was a hairdresser before. So I'd done retrained in that, all the up-to-date kind of techniques and stuff. Then I was been working in a few salons, doing a bit of mobile stuff. And then I've been working with the homeless. So I'm doing a lot of stuff, trying to raise awareness of homelessness, trying to raise money for people with low incomes that are in appalling conditions, temporary housing, kind of stuff like that, really.
Why is that specifically, that kind of sector important to you?
I just felt like that when I was inside, there was I felt very grateful that I had family and friends that I could come out to, and there was a lot of women inside that had no one or nothing, and found it very sad that they'd get out and then kind of try and get back as soon as possible just to keep a roof over their head, whereas ultimately I'd have fucking gave my right arm to get out of there, and some people I see how daunting it was for them, the reality that they was getting out knowing they had nowhere to go, and I found it really sad, so I just felt like trying to do something to kind of give back, or just trying to, do what I can. There's always people more disadvantaged than you, and I feel like if everyone in the world was a lot more kinder, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah, that's fair. So what? So you're kind of, you were doing the hair salon bits.
Yeah.
And what happened with that? Is that still continuing, or?
No, obviously I've got the trade, I can do it, but I just felt like I got out and I was doing the hair because it's what I'd done before.
Yeah, it's just a trait, yeah.
Yeah, so ultimately it was like I'd got out and I was half trying to pick up where I left off. But then whilst I was doing that, the reality was, it's been so long, I'm not who I was. Life isn't what it was. Got to kind of grow with the times and not kind of pick up where I left off, because I can't. I can never go back to where I was. Life will never be how it was. So just about accepting that kind of grieving in a way where you've got to let go of who you was, what life was, and just
redesign yourself.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing. And it takes, with my anxiety as well, I feel like I was kind of forcing myself in a way to do that, carry on with all that, because I was anxious about kind of maybe taking the leap into the unknown,
yeah, of course,
and things like that. But if you don't, then you're just going to stay stagnant. You never know.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, and it's great.
And what about you mentioned to me about the other kind of projects that you're doing at the moment? Are you happy to share them? Yeah. So about the public speaking?
Yes, got loads going on with that. So I'm working with I'm now a member of the Public Speaking Association. I've got a mentor, and I am planning on creating some kind of motivational kind of speeches, that I'm good at conferences and events, and hopefully kind of try and inspire and motivate people with my story. And yeah,
that's amazing. And try and guide.
Try and use my experiences through life to kind of relate to people in all sorts of kind of ways, to kind of relate to people, and then try and use my experiences from the bad and the growth to kind of emphasize that, sorry.
Lost your train of thought.
No,
I am with you anyway. Like, I think you've got a incredible story, and I think the fact that you're prepared to share that with a lot of people, I think a lot of people can take something from your journey. And considering the time that you've done in prison, like, there's been a bit of a consequence for you to have to pay, and
100%.
And I'm not sure in your eyes if it was all worth it for you in the end going through that journey, but hopefully by you sharing that story,
I'll make sure it is.
Yeah.
I'll make sure it is.
Yeah.
I'll make sure every single day I've done away, I'll make sure I make up for it double in every single day I have out here, because I owe it to myself, regardless of anyone or anything I've been through, or whatever I think's unjust or I didn't deserve. Like, I'm getting it all back. So just watch the ride.
Would you say that kind of old version of yourself is completely gone now, or are you still trying to like learn different behaviours and still be a different person?
I mean, I'm learning and growing every day. Like, every day I have even if I'm just chilling, getting ready, I have motivational speeches going on in the background on my iPad, because I know subconsciously that was sinking, about manifestation, meditation, all this stuff. But ultimately, I was a certain way and did have a certain lot of beliefs that I inherited and grew up with for a long part of my life. So, a lot of them are sleeping, but they're not dead. Do you know what I mean? And it is hard to have all of that for a long period of your life and then to completely abolish it. You can't get rid of it. You have to just retrain it, So it's just, that's why I'm constantly learning, constantly growing, constantly teaching myself new ways, new beliefs and understanding. I've done dialectical behavioural therapy, cognitive behavioural therapy, like NPR, the hypnosis therapy, like loads of stuff.
Do you find that stuff beneficial?
100%.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, 100%. But then ultimately it's, you have that child in you. We all do, that has been through certain things, got certain beliefs and, vulnerabilities that you have to accept, understand that will always be a part of you, but just let it be the weakest. Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't define you either. I think we've all got a past as well, and I think the important part of that past is to make sure it doesn't define you and who you
100%.
are today.
Yeah.
I love the fact that actually we have an opportunity to be reborn. Whenever, wherever we want. We're in full control of our own destiny, to be honest.
That's the thing when you become an adult, like, you can blame everyone or say it's this or that, whatever, when you're a child. But I believe when you get to 21 or 25, you can't start saying, I've got this from my mum, or I learned that from my dad. Nah, bollocks, you're a grown adult now. Yeah, now you've got to start taking responsibility for yourself and fixing it up.
To be honest with you, I think it's important to understand where it might have come from.
Yeah.
But from the blame point of view, it doesn't help.
No.
Don't blame yourself or other people.
Yeah.
Like, take accountability for yourself.
100%. And forgive other people as well.
I mean, one thing that even helped me as well is understanding the journey that they had to go through as well.
Exactly. That's important.
Yeah.
And a lot of people miss that. And they can have this kind of victim mindset.
It's easy to fall into that pit.
Yeah, but then ultimately you do have to be an adult and take a little step back and think, why was that person like that to me? Or how did I learn that from them? Why do they believe that? You've got to get to the root of this thing and, and accept everything for what it is, but then just ultimately choose yourself.
Choose who you want to be.
Yeah.
No, I love that, to be fair. That, and do you know what? It's quite interesting because knowing that you've obviously done all that therapy and I've done very similar things, I really understand the fact that you've got to kind of heal that young person of yourself to become whoever you want to be. So who is it that you want to be? Do you know yet?
I know who I am. I just want to win. I just want to, if I can, I just want to inspire people. I'm looking to kind of try and go into prisons and do talks, try and work with, dysfunctional teenagers that are kind of going through the kind of path that I went through, women that have been through domestic abuse, sexual exploitation, things like that. I just want to give back, I just want to, I'm not out here just trying to make money. I want to fulfill my soul, man. Do you know what I mean? And I want to just try and do what I can to kind of, because I've been in places where I wished people helped me before, so I know what it's like to be vulnerable and in pain. And I'd like to just try and maybe give a little bit back where because I'm in a completely different place.
Well, if you can give back, then why not?
Exactly. And I definitely believe that I can use my experiences and my wisdom that I've gained from it through life in order for me to be able to do that. So yeah.
Did you ever get any assistance from like the prisons and that when you like transition into a normal life, or
no?
Is it just like,
just chuck you
here's
out.
Your bag, see you later?
Yeah, it's like they throw you in, lock the door, and they throw you out and lock the door. It's the end of it. Yeah, you just got to wing it all on your own. And the hard thing is, as well, is like people don't understand out here. Like you get out and everyone's just happy that you're out, but people don't get that I've just left my home. I may be here, but that's my home. Yeah. Them girls in there, they're my family. That's where I live. That's what I know. And it's sad. And it's hard to kind of try and explain that to people you love, because ultimately they've been waiting years for you to get out and be home. But then when you get there, you don't feel like you should be there, because you've spent so long dissociating yourself from everyone you cared about and everything to the point when you get out and you're thrown out there, it's weird. It's hard.
You're forced to reassociate yourself.
You're thrown into prison and you're forced to adapt, and then you do it. You spend all that time accepting this is my reality. That's all gone now. Boom, boom, boom. Then by the time you've done that and you've fully synced into it, it's like again, and it is hard. But ultimately, this is what it's all about. The goal is freedom. From the minute you are locked up, that's all the ultimate goal every single day is to get out. So then you just got to take it all as it comes, and just don't give up, and just find a niche, find yourself, find something that you're passionate about, and never let anything stop you in your tracks. And just
you got a strong spirit, to be fair, so I can imagine that really like served you a lot in
100%. Defo. I'd been a goner.
Was it like a daily fight in there, or was it like was there ever kind of peace there?
Oh no, you're joking, aren't you? No, there's never peace in there. They're all mad.
I just don't understand with prison how you become rehabilitated.
Exactly.
Like,
and this is what I've said before.
You don't get help after.
Yeah.
Definitely don't sound like you have.
What it is with prison? It's a profitable business to the government. I don't care what anyone says. More reds on beds. Yeah. Nobody cares. If people really cared, the reoffending rate would not be so high. Yeah. It's like a revolving door. Yeah. The reoffending. We need to ask these questions to the Ministry of Justice. Why is the reoffending rate so high? Why is there billions of pounds going into the prison system and rehabilitation and all that? But then, you've got people
are just going back round in circles.
People are just going round and round and round. Why? Because all you're seeing is the crime, and you're doing them the time, and then you're chucking them back out. You're not getting to the root of why they're doing this crime. What's their life like? How has it got to that? To change, to break the cycle. Because it's a profitable business. Nobody cares.
So somebody's got to care to actually change it, isn't they?
Yeah, and they're smart. They're not fools. They're intelligent people, and everybody know. If they did get to the root of things on every person that ended up in prison, there would be no prisons, and there would be no jobs. There would be no sector. All of that. That's why it's not done. That's why you've got to take responsibility for yourself and say, right, what am I getting from this, and where am I going? But unfortunately, there is a lot of women and people, probably in the men's estate, that haven't got that kind of ability. And I'm glad that I have got that spirit.
Yeah.
I'm one of the lucky ones. There's some people in there that will always keep going mad because they need help and support and guidance, but that you're never going to get from the prison system. And it's a sad story, man.
So what feels different for you this time round compared to the first time that you went away?
I feel like other times I went away when I was younger, I was just counting the days. All I'd done was just count the days to get out. With this, as the days got closer, I was scared to get out because it was like I was just counting the days before. But with this, I actually really got to the root of worked on myself, and I read loads of books. You know, I've done a lot of therapy.
Can you read with like having ADHD? Because my focus is
it's hard work. You read one page, get to the next, and you forgot what the first page says.
Yeah.
I know. So I used to write lots of notes, like loads of books and powerful things. I'd write notes, like I'd take notes on it, chill, go over it, try and understand it, use the skills that I learned in like DBT, stuff like that, to kind of process what I'd learned from that. Real got to the root of the depths of my soul, you know, and it was really, really painful. But I knew with pain comes strength. And I knew if I didn't do that, I would continue to feel bitter, angry, all that for the rest of my life. Then ultimately, who's suffering? Me. They made me suffer enough. No, I won't let no one have one more day of pain out of me.
It's a very wise way of thinking. Like it's amazing how you've kind of learnt that and kind of gone through your journey of well done. No, you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. I am, you know. I really am, actually.
And to be honest, I think like this, like I said out there, like all of this kind of motivational speaking, I think like is a very good way to take responsibility for helping other people. Yeah. Like, and it sounds quite exciting for your next journey.
Yeah, it is exciting. I'm excited, you know, and I think it should be fun. Like, it should be good. Ultimately, you've got to get raw. You've got to go, because, you know, I don't feel, how can I really be respected on where I'm at if, you know, I'm not honest about where I've been,
authentic,
what I've done.
Authentic,
you know,
because people relate to that.
Yeah, and I pride myself on my integrity, man. You know, and all of it. And I just think I'm really looking forward to it, and it should be great. So let's do it.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Well, I look forward to seeing your journey.
Definitely. I've got loads of other stuff coming up, like loads of other YouTube stuff.
Have you? Yeah. Do you want to tell me?
My TikTok's Neah921. I've got like don't want to let too much off, but like I've got like some meet and greets with people coming up. I've got like a day in the life with Neah coming up. And I'm doing like a training journey with my brother. He's a ADHD specialist ADHD fitness coach. So we're now partners in his online programs. So I'm working with him because I was really training hard when I was in prison. I was vegan. Got out first day, stayed drinking loads of wine. Yeah, it didn't last 2 minutes. My mate messaged me yesterday. She went, Neah, do you still eat chicken on special occasions? I used to eat chicken on special occasions. I said, no, I eat them every day now. So I've put on weight, fell off a bit with the training. So I'm doing like a transformation training thing with my brother, boxing, stuff like that. Yeah, so loads going on. So yeah, it's exciting. It's great stuff.
Good. No, I'm super excited to see where it all goes, Neah. And do you know what? Thank you for coming down today.
No problem. It's been great.
Really appreciate it. And we'll definitely catch up again at some point.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Neah. Cheers.